Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kiva. This is kind of weird. I haven't done this in a while, which is probably why I'm talking so quiet. Happy New Year! It's January 15th for me, and I thought I would bring things back with a December wrap-up, because I did actually get to read quite a fair amount in December because I had 2 weeks off. And I basically read and hung out with my family. I might not be as high energy in this video, not that I'm ever jumping off the walls or anything. December was really good. But now it's kind of like, I'm gonna start off with kind of like an emotional, all me up in my bullshit thing. So if you don't want to hear about that, and you just want to hear about the books, I'll put a timestamp somewhere so you can jump forward to where I actually get to the point of the video. But I don't know, I just feel like I need to talk about it, and I find that talking about stuff that's going on helps. But yeah, if you don't want to see that, you can jump ahead. So in December, I started hanging out with someone, and we got into a relationship. It was really, really fun. But I'm someone who falls quite quickly, which isn't ideal. I don't try to. In fact, I actively try to avoid doing that, but you can't really help how you feel. Yeah, so I fall quite quickly, and I did again this time. This is my 3rd time being in love romantically, but about 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, almost, they broke up with me. I'm not gonna go over why, because honestly you don't need to know, and they tried really hard to articulate their feelings, and I know why they broke up with me, but I don't know that I could articulate it properly myself, and then I feel like I wouldn't be doing their reasons justice when they tried to be so honest and open with me. But basically, yeah, they broke up with me. I'm feeling pretty heartbroken about it. It was only a month, which always makes me feel so ridiculous for being this upset, but you can't really help how you feel. I think because it was only a month, it also makes it I've gotten really good about not crying about it, and I guess today is just not a day. Okay, there's frankly far too much mucus involved in crying. If evolution could deal with that, that would be really good, because it's rather inconvenient. The fact that it was only a month makes it in some ways easier, because obviously my feelings would have only developed further, but it's also a part of the reason it's pretty difficult, because I feel like I barely got to spend any time with them, and there were so many things that I wanted to do together, because honestly just hanging out with them was so much fun. It sounds like they did. Obviously, they want to be friends and I want to be friends, but it's different. It's different. Do things I wanted to do as like in a date scene. Oh, this sounds so ridiculous. I just wanted to hang out with them more and be around them more. And I'm trying really hard not to take it as a reflection on myself, because that's kind of the first thing that happens when you get broken up with. Or at least in my experience, you wonder what's wrong with you, what did you do wrong, what can you do better, are you just unlikable as a person? But I'm trying really hard not to think that way, because it's not productive, and I know that it's not true. Sometimes these things just don't work out. And I checked, I asked them if there was anything I could have done differently, or anything that hurt them, because what's really important to me is to have open and honest communication, and I don't want to do something that makes my friends or my romantic partner uncomfortable, and if I did, I want to know about it, and we were pretty good about that, and they said there was nothing, so it was just the situation, which happens. But usually when I get really sad, or I'm going through something, I kind of shut down, and I keep to myself, and I just mull it over, and I get what my counselor would say, I get hooked by a thought, and kind of end up going into a downward spiral of like insecurities and self-deprecation and stuff like that. And I'm trying really hard not to do that this time. And honestly, it's going okay. I'm talking to my friends about it, and I'm telling people when I need them to be there for me. So far, everyone has. I am really lucky to have really good friends. I'm okay. It's just difficult. I keep saying, being heartbroken is so lame. Not like I'm lame for being sad, but I'm tired of being sad. I'm sick of crying about it. I'm sorry if you hate sniffing noises. I'll try to cut them out. I know, I'm trying to be open and honest about the way I feel and not pretending that I'm super cool or doing super good all the time, because who could be? I'm trying to maintain a balance of being open and honest when I'm not doing well and asking people to be there for me, but not taking over the situation and making everything about me all the time, because other people also go through things. And it's not my friend's job to also have to deal with all of this. I don't think I'm doing a great job in striking the balance at the moment, but I'm trying, and that counts for something. I find it really, really difficult to let go of people, because I get scared. Oh my god, again, okay? I get scared that they're gonna, move on without me and forget me, and I have this whole thing about being forgettable and replaceable. I don't know where it comes from, but it's clearly a big issue for me, and I'm trying to work on that. And people move on from other people all the time. I've done it about people have done it about me, and it's been fine. Like, it's just how life goes, but I really struggle with it, and so that's the bit that really gets to me, that I'm super easy to move on from. But that's just about, like, insecurities and stuff. So I'm trying to not get caught up in that, but not just shove the feelings down and try to ignore them, because that's also a bad habit of mine, and that's also not great. It's difficult to healthily deal with these kinds of emotions, but I'm doing my best. I mean, I even hung out with them the other day, and it was a lot of fun. But them, I mean the person I was in a relationship with. It was a lot of fun, but it was difficult and weird. I don't know how they felt about it precisely. I don't think we're going to do it again for a while, but it was really fun, but really difficult, because I like them so much. God, fuck. I think it would have been easier if I had something I disliked about them, but either there wasn't anything, or we weren't together long enough for me to figure out what that was. So just everything that they are is so lovely to me, and so it's like, it's just frustrating that it didn't work out, because I really like them, and I still really like them. I'm back, and I have the cat. Yes, so basically, that's what's happening with me, which is why I'm not super. Woo! Oh, he's leaving. Okay, but life goes on, and you gotta move on. Hopefully, we can be proper good friends at some point, because I would really like that. Okay. December wrap up. Wow, yay! To give a really quick glance over of last year, my goal was to read 40 books. I read 33, so that's pretty good. I think I'm gonna make my goal 40 books again this year, because I started studying and we're going to be working part-time, so I don't know if I'll have more or less time. So I'm just going to make 40 books. I just read 4 books in December. My first book read of the summer was Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alire Sainz. I reread Aristotle and Dante every year, so this is my 3rd year rereading it. Aristotle and Dante is about 2 Mexican-American kids from El Paso, Texas, who are like 13 or between 13 and 15 at the start of the book, and they meet over summer and become close friends, and the story follows them through each summer preceding until the book finishes. And it's about their growing relationship and how they deal with both their own families and understanding the people around them and themselves, and kind of growing to understand who they are as people. And it's really beautifully written. The way that Aristotle expresses himself feels so, I'm just like, mood, even though I'm probably More like Dante, who just like blurts out whatever the fuck he's thinking all the time. Mr. Science shows the way that Aristotle is thinking, not only through the things he says, and mostly what he doesn't say, and his thoughts, but also his dreams. Like, his dreams say a lot, which I think is so interesting. And the way he behaves around other people, it's just so well done. It's kind of takes place in subsequent summers, but it doesn't feel like the time is passing too quickly or slowly. Like, the time passes naturally, and it feels like a good progression of events. And the sequel came out, and I pre-ordered it, but it's taken forever to get here because Barnes & Noble, and I live in New Zealand. But I'm so excited to read it as soon as it freaking comes, because, oh my god, I can't wait to read the sequel, but I'm also scared. I hope I love it. And I made a post on my Instagram about how much I like Aristotle and Dante, because I was reading it at the beach, and the sky was, oh, so blue. And Benjamin Hilary Signs liked the post, which I know is like it's a pretty small beans thing, but when I'm the kind of person who every now and then writes a fan letter, because books and music and stuff, you know, like it can impact you so much, and these things like mean so much to me, and I feel like I can never properly articulate how much they mean to me because words feel so inadequate and they feel so like stupid coming out of my mouth, like I'm just saying bullshit when I'm like, feelings, I have them, they mean so much. So when an author or a creator of something gets like an inkling of how much their work means to me, it makes me really happy. So when you like the post, I was like, you have a small idea of how much your book means to me. Next I read, which was my final book on the TBR that Annie gave me, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Annie said it was really good, and she was freaking right. Oh, so good. The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is about a journalist who's been specifically asked by this Hollywood starlet who's in her 80s, I believe, who was insanely famous and has never really done interviews, or at least never really done interviews about her life story, to finally write her story. And she basically talks about her life, and specifically her relationship with each of her 7 husbands and how they came to be and how they ended and what really happened. It's so interesting, and the plot progression is so interesting. Oh, it's so freaking sad. Oh, it's so sad. But I feel like even though most of the book was spent on Evelyn, you did get to learn a fair amount to be like somewhat invested in the journalist's story. I feel like their balance was good, because if you focused too much on her, you would have been like, okay, but Evelyn's story is like a little bit more interesting. So I feel like the balance was really well done, and I feel like the time spent on each husband was well done. It just felt like so much for these characters, and the whole like kind of polyamorous, not polyamorous moment in the middle was like, it was everything. I was like, no, stay here. I'm sorry if that was a spoiler, but I feel like it's not really. Honestly, it should just be more of an incentive to read the book. So yes, I like that one. Next I read Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, which I bought in 2018 and Holly read. She's like, oh, you have to read this, it's amazing. And then I proceeded to ignore her badgering persistence to read the book for like 3 years, because I don't know. I did not have a good reason for not reading it. I just didn't do it. And then I finally read it, and I really, really liked it. Six of Crows is set in a fantasy world, and it's about, basically there are these people called Grisha. They have specific abilities, and there's kind of different groups of what they can do, but they can manipulate matter or something like that. I don't really understand science. Not to out myself as a dumb boy, but but basically their abilities, whilst incredible and impressive, are not beyond reason. But a drug has been made that makes their powers exorbitant, just insane. Like, they can perform feats that you would never expect, but there are really intense side effects to that drug. And basically, one of the characters, Kaz, has to form a crew together to go steal the man who invented said drug, because he's currently being kept hostage or under arrest in an impenetrable ice palace. Kaz recruits people to go do this impossible heist with him to get a lot of cash money, and everyone has their own reasons for doing said things. The book flips between their perspectives, which I like. It's done quite well. because it's still kept in third person, which I think makes the swap easier. You just get more of an insight to their headspace and what each character's seeing. The whole thing, like the whole low fantasy world, kind of medieval, kind of not, you know, like horse-drawn carriage thing, and then the whole idea of a heist. Oh, it's so fun, and the characters, I feel like we got to spend a good amount of time with each characters, and they're also different and so interesting. And I love strong female characters, and we definitely had them. Wish there were more, but also like a little bit of queer representation in there. Yeah, so it was really sick, and I love Inej's character so much. She's so cool and silent and stoic, and I'm like, ah, I love you. And Kaz, I mean, there's something about a brooding, sad boy done right that always gets me. I'm always like, oh, you poor boy. When it's done wrong, obviously, they're just like an annoying shithead. And Kaz is an annoying shithead, but it's written so you like him anyway. At least that was my perspective. Finally, I read Text Revert by Lindsay Summers, which was originally a Wattpad book when I was like 13. And I really liked it, and it was published as a novel, so I read it again. I still like it, I think, overall. Some of the plot things are quite contrite, and some of them they brush over really intense topics really lightly, and I don't know about that. And the things that one of the characters does is, I would consider unforgivable, but they're like, he's changed. So I don't know about that. But I think the character chemistry and the text conversation, which is kind of what the whole thing's about, because two characters meet because of mistakenly picking up each other's iPhones, and so they have a text rapport and then a phone call rapport, and they get quite close that way. And the banter is done really well. I feel like it feels really natural and it's sweet, so it's quite an easy, fun, light read. I would say it doesn't break any gender stereotypes. If anything, it enforces them. It's very heteronormative. I will say 2 good points. One, obviously I feel like the romantic chemistry is well done. And 2, the main character doesn't fucking shut up about wanting to change and be like the person that she thinks the love interest sees her as, which is like blah blah blah. But she talks about, if you want to change, if I want to be the person that I want to be, I have to actively decide to make those changes and be that person. Like, I have to try. And I think that's a really good point to express. I think that's good, and I think that's nice. So that's everything I read in December. But I finally got my last queer comic. So I plan to make a queer comics recommendation video in the future, and I finally have all the books I need to do it. So I'm pretty excited about that. So that should come out at some point. And I did film a spooky but sexy readathon vlog. Ugh. I don't know if will ever be fucked to edit it, but if I do, I'll post that. Might be interesting. I only read like 3 things, so woo! And I would also like to mention the Gender GP Fund. Yes, which is specifically set in UK, which was formed by Gender GP to combat the 2020 ruling making accessing care via the NHS tougher for every trans youth in the UK. Sorry, that was stunted. I am reading off my computer. It's just fucking good shit. I'm going to link that down below along with my usual helpful links. Thank you for watching. Stay safe and stay well. I'll catch you on the flippity flop.